What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of XP Loss. This is the podcast that I told you we were going to be starting in a couple videos ago. I am your host, Sid the Squid. That's what you can refer to me as. And this is going to be a fun podcast. It's going to be a fun place. It's going to be a great time. It is where you and me will have a beautiful conversation about all things video games. Maybe movies, maybe comics. We'll see about where that goes. And hopefully in the future, as my team can expand, if we can start monetizing and making some revenue off this, we will have more hosts. We will have interviews. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm excited to get all this in. But we'll see where this goes. And I wanted the first episode to really be a focal point of what's going on kind of right now, as we've had some stellar games release. We've had Pal World. We've had Enshrouded. I don't know if you have played Enshrouded. You should give it a go. It's really fun. We've had a lot. We coming off a good 2023 with Baldur's Gate near the end of the year, releasing on console finally. Well, PC and console. You like it or love it, like it or hate it. I mean, you had Starfield. I personally enjoy Starfield. I played the crap out of it. So we've had a lot of solid games release here in the past couple months, and going forward we have even more. And I have 10 episodes planned of this podcast right now with titles and all that good stuff, and we're going to be getting into a lot of that. Some of us talking about older stuff, some of us talking about newer stuff. And episode 2, I kind of get into that gamer mentality, which is what this kind of maybe touches on, because I've read a couple of reviews of Suicide Squad on Steam. You know, of course they got a bunch of bad reviews, but you can really see there's people that's enjoying the actual game itself. And then if you read the Xbox reviews, I've seen a lot of them that's actually enjoying this game. I have 2 friends right now that are playing this game, and they've completed the story. I don't know if they're playing much of the end game. I got to touch base on them there, but they're enjoying the game. So I really want to know if this game is really trash or just fake hate, to be honest with you. And that's the question we're going to try to answer. We won't actually answer it. That's a spoiler, but we're going to talk about it. And I want this to be an open conversation between you and me. If you're enjoying Suicide Squad, if you're playing it, let me know what you like about it. What is drawing you to Suicide Squad? Full disclosure, I played only 30 minutes of this game, give or take. I was not impressed. It was better than I had built up in my head. But would I give $60 for this game, or $70 for this game, or even that ridiculous $100 just to play this game early? No, definitely not. This is not a review, but this is an opinion, and my thoughts is this is a wait for sale game. If this game drops to $20, I'll pick it up because I did enjoy the little bit I played. But that's neither here nor there. So let's give a little brief overview and history of this game. If you don't know about the Suicide Squad, it's a group of unlikely heroes that are pretty much, I would say, band together, but they were kind of forced together in the DC realm by a lady named Amanda Waller. And we'll just go by the Suicide Squad in this game. I'm sure in the comics there were a couple more, and in the movies there was a couple more, like the Weasel. The Weasel. Anyway, I don't want to get off too much of a tangent, but that should be a DLC character. I mean, Rocksteady, WB, whoever needs to get us the Weasel. I would buy it for the Weasel, goddammit. But anyway, so they're a group of unlikely anti-heroes. We'll say anti-heroes because that's what they are. They're brought together by Amanda Waller to do nefarious deeds for the government of the DC Comics. I guess you could say they're the government-ish. But that's them in a nutshell. And in this game, you have, I think, Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn. We have Deadshot and King Shark, I believe, are the 4 playable characters that you can choose from. Now, with that out the way, we know who our heroes are of the game. Let's give a little history lesson here, because this game was actually originally announced back in 2010 by Jeff Johns. He was the chief creative officer of DC Comics at the time, and he kind of hinted on that there was a Suicide Squad video game being worked on, or a concept idea, because I don't think it was quite being worked on in 2010. I think it was more on paper, I guess you could say, because it wasn't until 2012 that he talked more about the game as it was in development. See, the idea behind the game is you could have a game like this where pretty much any of your characters, like your main characters, they could die, and it wouldn't just be like a gimmick death where they'll come back. And they thought maybe, hey, we can tell some pretty badass stories off this singular concept. Now, to my understanding, I don't think this actually happened in the game. I mean, in the game, you actually don't do that. You pretty much definitively kill the main characters, correct? Like, Flash dies, Batman's fucking toast, Superman's fucking toast. All the Justice League is fucking toast, right? I said I was gonna watch my language. I'm sorry. I'm getting better at that. We're gonna keep. I gotta stop myself. I'm good Christian men around here, right? But anyway, so that was the idea. Any of the main characters could die, and we didn't hear hide or hair out of anything about the actual game being developed. Though, if we do go to 2013, around the time Arkham Origins, which it was developed not by Rocksteady but by WB Games. I think it was in Montreal, and we do get a post-credit scene, quote unquote post-credit scene in the game where you Deathstroke. It's like, yo, Amanda Waller comes up to him and like, hey, I got a team, join my team, and that was kind of that hint that the Suicide Squad was trying to actually be formed. And this went on to Blackgate, and that's when the Deadshot, I believe Deadshot and Bronze Tiger joined the team, and Bane was kind of one of the considerations. And this went on until we had more radio silence, probably up until 2015 when Arkham Knight come out. And if you played Arkham Knight, I don't know if you liked Arkham Knight, but personally, I enjoyed Arkham Knight. I think it was a really good Batman game. Honestly, all the Rocksteady Batman games to me were really set the bar for superhero games, and I don't think too many have carried the torch past the Arkham series. I do think it's really cool that it's because we had Arkham that Spider-Man actually flourished the way it did. Without Arkham, I don't know if we would have had Spider-Man, or Sony. I don't think Sony would have that Spider-Man game, or if they did, it wouldn't have that blueprint that Arkham laid. So we owe a lot to Rocksteady and that Batman series, who paved the way for hopefully future superhero games. Although most of them are dropping the ball, in my opinion. Like Avengers was bad. Suicide Squad not doing so hot. Spider-Man's good. What was there was another really good Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a really good one. I don't know. I don't think it got as much love as it should have. Guardians of the Galaxy was a fantastic game. But I'm sorry, I got off track. But this is the conversation. So we are 2015. Arkham Knight releases. At this point, all you have is pretty much rumor and hearsay of what WB's working on. Are they doing it? Are they not doing it? We have nothing official at this point. So that goes on for a year, and that's when the Jason Stradle, sorry if I don't say his name, he kind of had an article where he almost confirmed that the Suicide Squad was actually canceled. So we obviously know that is not the case because we're playing it now. But it was more rumored that Rocksteady was going to do I think it was going to be more of a Superman game. Was the rumor. That was the rumor. Unfortunately, that rumor was not true because I think if Rocksteady would have done a Superman game, that would have been fun. But they did squash that rumor, and they officially announced Kill the Justice League, and that was in 2020, if I remember correctly. So we got the official announcement, not for the actual Suicide Squad game that's been in development back in 2010, but the actual official hard announcement of Kill the Justice League. Now, so I remember there being a trailer. I don't know if it was announced. I don't know if we got the actual trailer in 2020. I can't remember when the trailer dropped, But I remember looking at the trailer and being like, "This ain't it, Chief. It's something wasn't adding up. Something wasn't vibing right. It wasn't really vibing with me." And so I kind of was on uneasy footing. So is it going to be good? And then you got to think before we even got this game even out. What was the other DC property game we got? We got Gotham Knights. Not Arkham Knight, but we got Gotham Knights. I don't know if you had the displeasure of playing Gotham Knights. But if you did, I am truly sorry. Because that game was trash. That game was trash. And it was a gutted live service game, right? It was supposed to be live service. They gutted it and packaged it as a non-live service game, but they left all the live service elements in Gotham Knights, and it, in my opinion, it killed that game. It was not fun. The traversal was pretty janky. I didn't like the traversal. Didn't care for the combat. All in all, I was not having a good time with that property. So whenever they announced that Kill the Justice League was going to be a live service game, and it was going to carry that live service torch, I wasn't about it. I wasn't happy. I don't care for live service games at all. I don't understand why there's such a push for live service. And this player retention, it's not good. It's not really, obviously not good for these games because it's not working. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. But nothing about that first trailer I saw for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League made me excited to play Kill the Justice League. Now, with that being said, it was on March 23rd of 2022. Rocksteady, is it Rocksteady now? Rocksteady, they announced the Suicide Kill the Justice League. It got its first delay. That's when it was delayed from. It was supposed to be launched, I believe, in 2020. Wait, sorry, a bunch of 20s. It was supposed to originally be launched in 2022, but it got pushed out to that 2023 release date. And I believe it was supposed to be May 26th. Let me check my notes. I have done some research. Well, a little bit of research I got, so I wrote down some notes. And I do believe it was May 2026 for what? May 2026. May 26th. And that's also whenever we was going to get officially Batman in the game. I believe that was when that cool little trailer with Batman was announced. And we also got to know that it was going to be Kevin Conroy, as rest in peace. He is the best Batman, in my opinion. Voiced so many variations of Batman. He's a legend. And they said it was his final performance, but we know that's not really true because there's another performance of Kevin Conroy being released as Batman. So I think they kind of mismarketed that to probably try to generate some hype. So I'm really looking forward to his next outing of Batman. We do get Kevin Conroy again here in the future, and I cannot wait for that. But a bunch of other stuff was announced, and along the lines, of course, it's going to be a live service, so you always going to have to be online. I am not opposed to always online for certain things. I understand live service games like this, like Destiny, like so many others. I can't even think of them all. Those are just always the ones that come. Destiny obviously always comes to mind. Or the Avengers, it's trash. But anyway, I don't mind it. I understand why they need it. But I don't think it needs to become an industry standard because I'm going to tell you why. Let's get into why. Let's get more into the game now that we're done with the history. The reason why is if you tried to play, now this is coming from an outside perspective. Now my buddy has played the game on day one. He dropped $100 to play this game on day one. More power to him. I'm not judging him. He's enjoyed the game. He loved the game. and he didn't encounter this problem, but I know a lot of people did, enough so that it made a lot of headlines. Was they had to take the servers offline, and you paid $100 to play day one. You couldn't play the day one during that 72 hours early access period because the game's not playable in a single player state. Now, from what I played of this game, I don't understand why there's a need for it to be always online, other than to access the battle pass and stuff like that. There should be a way for players to play this game offline. I think that for every game, by the way, not just this game. I know that's probably an unreasonable ask. I don't know if it can be done. I just remember back when I bought Diablo 4 at launch. Excuse me. I got the burps. But anyway, when I bought Diablo 4 at launch, I remember servers being down for that, and I majority played that game single player anyway. I'm like, why does this have to be online? So I wish we could get away from always online, but unfortunately I accept it because I know it's going to be the norm in the future. And there's nothing we can do about that because the market's not listening to the players. I guess there's not enough of us really turning off from these features. Like, not, we all gonna buy. We're just gonna buy the games anyway. I mean, I've done better in that respect. Like, I didn't pick up this game even when my buddies was having a good time with it. I could not justify giving WB this money. And I say WB because the game says it was developed by Rocksteady, but on further research, if you look into it, pretty much all the devs that made those Arkham games are no longer at Rocksteady. So Rocksteady is effectively a different company. It's like a totally different company. It's kind of that BioWare situation. Like, I used to be a die-hard BioWare stan. Like, I won't even lie to you. I used to stand for BioWare hard. Anthem could do no wrong. It's going to be a great fucking game. And then you realize that all those guys that really made those great childhood games are no longer with the company. And what you really got is a bunch of new guys who don't care about properties like those older guys. And I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm sure there's some developers on Suicide Squad that enjoyed making this game. But I don't know if the vision is going to really resonate long term, because as of recording this video, this is as of recording, just give you some examples here. On Metacritic, it's sitting at a 64 out of 100 on PC. PS5 is a 60, and Xbox is a 60. OpenCritic sitting at a 19%. So it did not do good critically either. So the fans hate it and the critics hate it. And unfortunately, I don't see this game actually making it long term. I think to judge a live service game, how do you gauge it was a success? Because no game goes forever. No game is going to be Destiny that goes for years. I think if you have a live service game that's up for a year, you can probably consider that a successful live service game. Moderately, of course these companies want that retention 10 years on these games, but realistically, most live service games, if you can get them to last a year and get that player engagement, have fun for a year, that's a relatively successful live service game. I don't see live service games going 10 years. I think Destiny, the first Destiny, was an abnormality. Look at Destiny 2. It's gone downhill completely, in my personal opinion. Even though it did corrected a lot of those initial problems from the first Destiny in the second game that I had. And I enjoyed Destiny 2, but I didn't really play Destiny 2 fully and really invest my time into it. But I did enjoy what I played. And I went back to it last year, and I was like, this is atrocious. It's a microtransaction hellscape. What the fuck's going on with Destiny? It's my language. It's how I talk. Anyway, and I feel like WB right now is going to put this game on live support, try to recoup as much money as they possibly can out of this game, and run, basically. That's my thoughts on it. But there is love for this game. There is actual love for this game. And I want to pull up some I want to pull up the Steam reviews. I'm going to look up, this is as of February 14th. We'll look at Steam reviews real quick. Of course, you're not going to see them, but I will read to you some positive ones. Because this isn't a trash. I mean, this isn't a trash on Justice League. I mean, not Justice League, but a Suicide Squad. This is an understanding of, is it bad or is it just let's jump on the bandwagon of Suicide Squad bad? Because this shit you not, guys. Like, I am on February 14th. If you look at Steam reviews, it's very positive right now as February 14th. Very positive, but when you click on it, you obviously get bombarded with a bunch of not recommends. 3 hours on 22 hours. 22 hours is respectable. This guy, he says buy it at 75% off, not worth $100, which I agree 100%. And then we have one, should not have been part of the Arkhamverse and should have been released at a lower price point, but he does recommend it, saying the co-op is fun, and that's kind of the vibe I got from my buddies that do enjoy this game. A lot of them are recommending it, but they're saying wait for a sale, which I think if they would have released this game as a lower price point and would have just gave anyone who pre-ordered it that early access period, they probably would have got off a little bit easier. And I think that's maybe the crux of the issue. One of the big crux of this issue is the fact that to get that 72-hour early access, you had to drop $100 on a game that you literally knew nothing about, other than some fancy little trailers that really didn't look good in my opinion. But even the early preview people who tested the game was saying it wasn't fulfilling. It didn't do anything different, and it doesn't. In my opinion, what I've seen of the game, I'm getting off the reviews now, that it doesn't do anything different from a normal live service game. It doesn't bring nothing new to the table other than a new skin. And does that really make it a bad game? I don't think it makes it a 1. I don't really think it makes it, people give it a 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. Even I would say 3 out of 10. I don't think that's true because what I played of it and what I've seen of it, it does look like an average game. Like it's a 7 out of 10. Like it's just, or good. That 7 might be too high. Okay, a 6 out of 10. That's average. Because if we say 7 is good, 6 would be average. 5 is below average. I do think it's a 6. So a 64 and a 60 out of 100, I would say is average. Right? And you might even say above average, because if you go out of 100 like Metacritic does, I would say 50 would have been average. So technically, by Metacritic standards, that should be above average, in my opinion. But I do think it's an average game, and I do think it's an average live service title. And the only thing that's preventing me from getting it outside of wanting it on a sale is the fact that I don't think WB is going to support it long term. I don't see this game lasting 8 months, 10 months, a year. Not wholly. I don't think it's going to have that support it needs to get off the ground. Now, I could come back next year and do another retrospective on Suicide Squad and be completely wrong. This is just my opinions. Now, with that out of the way, I do want to talk about ways that I think could improve the game. Just because, like I said, I played 30 minutes of it. That's not a long time, but I have seen more gameplay than I care to admit because I did look into it. And the biggest complaint that I have, even playing the little bit I played, was, and from what I've seen, is most of the characters feel and play pretty much the same. They don't have an identity. The characters don't seem to have much identity outside the way they traverse the world. Like, to me, Captain Boomerang has the coolest traversal in the game. I think Captain Boomerang has a great traversal. I love throwing that boomerang out. I love that he teleports to the boomerang. It is really cool. But with that being said, it falls in the combat side of things because it really pigeonholes everybody into just gunplay where they could have done more. They could have expanded. I'm a fan of, even though this is the established this is the established way live service games should work. This is how we should do it. And I'm like, why not push barriers? Why not break barriers? You could have had a live service game that didn't revolve around gunplay outside of one character. Deadshot should have been the only character that revolved around gunplay. Deadshot should have been the only character that had strict gunplay built into his kit. When you get to Harley Quinn, she should have been over-the-top melee combat. Like, what are you thinking? Like, she should have been the big-ass hammers bonking people out of the fucking park like Super Mario Brothers. No, I'm sorry, Smash Brothers blasting them bitches to the fucking space. That's what she should have been like. She should have just bam, bam, bam. Big-ass hammer pulls it out of her butt and just knocks somebody up a skyscraper. Like, what's up, man? Like, that should have been her gameplay. Boomerang should have been like a tech guy. Like, his boomerang should have had multiple boomerangs. Should have had like various ways you could play him. He should be throwing boomerangs. He should be throwing exploding boomerangs, stunning boomerangs. He should just be fighting with those boomerangs. Like, that should be his kit. Like, why is he pulling out snipers and shotguns? King Shark, why is he using a gun? This guy should have been a brawler. Like, this guy should have had, like, hard-hitting, just brutish melee combat. Like, picking people up, eating them, biting them in half. Like, he's King Shark. Why are you giving this man a machine gun? Let him do his thing. And that's the thing. Let the characters do what makes these characters who they are. As far as the voice work, as far as the story, the cinematics, all that stuff is so top tier. And I don't think it's getting enough credit for that. Like, if you go and look at cutscenes of this game, if you don't want to play the game, go and look at cutscenes of this game. Look at the facial animations. Look at the high quality cutscenes. I've seen videos online that compare Arkham to this, and the graphics aren't up to par to Arkham. Maybe, I mean, I can't confirm that. I don't have Arkham in this game on PC, so I can't run those side by side. I can only see what was being shown to me. But I do know what I've seen of the game. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look that bad. It's not a bad looking game. Is it like Arkham levels when it's raining? You got the rain effects, the lightning effects? No, it's not. It's not. But it's two different genres. Like, that's something my buddy really wanted to drive home. It is. You do make sacrifices in that aspect. I guess they had to make some concessions, and they made graphical concessions. But it still doesn't mean it's a bad looking game. Is it top tier? Does it look as good as Last of Us 2? Hell no, nothing really does. Is it Red Dead Redemption 2 maxed out on a 4080 or 4090? No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that good looking, but it is passable. And when you really look at like the cutscenes and the facial animations, those are top tier. But the only problem is the moment-to-moment gameplay is just not good. It's not fun. It's not engaging. Not to me. I don't see myself playing it. Like, I don't care to get that. I don't see myself caring to get that next sniper rifle for Captain Boomerang. I don't care to see myself getting that next shotgun if I'm playing as King Shark. Like, I have no cares about that. So I just really wish they would give the characters identity. They should have gave the characters identity. Also, like, from what I understand of the story itself, I don't understand, like, why they couldn't play more into the heart of the superheroes. Like, I understand Brainiac. The Brainiac, he takes over their bodies. He takes full control. And honestly, if you played the game, like, I was watching like a little cutscene, a little playthrough, and listening to people talk, listening to people's ideas, and whenever you're fighting superheroes, like these like really iconic heroes that we grew up watching and loving, and we're killing these guys, they could have made a more emotional impact of you killing these guys. Like, there would have been a cool moment between Harley Quinn and the Batman. Like, I don't know, man. I just wish there was more heart. Like, I wish there was more conversation. Like, take when Flash got the truth rope wrapped around him by Wonder Woman, and you kind of seen that little hint hint of Flash. And when this is pointed out to you, you realize that there was missed opportunity even in the story department, where you could have had these heroes just snap back to reality just either right before their death, or like instead of like having this cheap fucking gimmick of killing Superman. How cool would it have been if like right before Superman kills you or something, and like it's a struggle, and he comes back to reality and he gives up just for a split second, and that's how you kill him. But that's not how it happened. No, it's a live service game that just you gun the motherfucker down and that's it. Superman's dead. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have with the game. I can't say that for a fact, but I think it's how they handle the heroes, for one. I don't think their deaths were handled in a... how I want to say this. I don't think their deaths were handled properly, I guess you could say. I think you could have gave them more impactful death. Especially Kevin Conroy. I know you didn't know he was going to pass away, but he's still Batman. This man is still Batman. He's still one of the best Batmen that we probably have seen on screen. Period. And you had the man sitting on the bench and just Harley Quinn executes him with nothing. Just dead. And that's how you kill Batman. And now I might sound salty because Batman is one of my favorite superheroes, but I'm okay with them killing Batman. I'm 100% okay with how the story plays out. From my understanding and what I've seen on the story, it's actually a pretty damn good story. They told a really good story. But it was really disrespectful to the heroes that we all grew up with. And I think that's probably what turned a lot of people off too, is when you have these heroes you resonate with and you've grown up with, and Saturday morning cartoons you're watching as a Justice League, you kind of respect these characters in a way that you don't respect the Justice League. Not Justice League, sorry, Suicide Squad like that. So now you're being forced to kill your heroes in a sense, and it's just done so bad. I guess I equate it to The Last of Us 2, as how they handled Joel and Ellie and Abby. Was there anything wrong with Abby? No, but it was disrespectful that they made you play with her after they killed one of your favorite heroes in that title. And that's kind of what's happened here, and I think that's what's triggered a lot of people and made them really turned off to the game, other than the boring gameplay. But I think that's why they're not resonating with the story as well as they could, and really recognize that there is something here. There is something special here that could be built off of. But I don't think it's going to have the opportunity, because I know WB is not going to invest in this game. They done lost money. They're not gaining money. So they're going to try to regenerate that money. Now, with that being said, I guess the biggest red flag, I guess you could say, right now all the post additional content is supposed to be free. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be free and funded by the Battle Pass. If that's my understanding of the post-launch content. Now, if that post-launch content now all of a sudden is flipped the script and now they're charging for it, I want you to know your game is dead. If you like this game, at that point, the game will be dead. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Don't flame me in the comments about that. I'm just saying, if you see that happen, know the game is now on life support. They're recouping their funds and they're about to pull the plug. But if it does not happen and it does keep that free additional add-on content, that's a good sign, and I may pick up the game. I'll wait a couple seasons. I'll wait maybe season 2 or so. If it's still free from that point on, I know, okay, so that's a good bit of content they added. I may pick it up, and it may even be on sale by that point. And the Joker will be a playable character. If I'm not mistaken, he is the first official playable character they announced. Do I like that version of the Joker too? Let's talk about that version of the Joker. I'm gonna pull him up. You obviously won't see him, but I'm gonna pull him up for reference, because let's talk. I wanted to really get into this guy. Let's see, Joker, Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League. So let's check him out. Let's check out some images. I want to look at him. I've seen a little bit of him. This is not my favorite rendition of the Joker. This guy looks goofy as shit. But, I would play with him because I've looked at some of his gameplay. His gameplay does look fun. It doesn't look unique, I guess. It doesn't look as unique as as it could be. He doesn't have his identity. There we go. He still looks like one of the other characters, in my opinion. But I'm a sucker for the Joker. I do like the Joker. I can't play as Batman, but if I can play as his arch nemesis, that would be awesome. That would be so cool to do. And there's also rumored that this is rumored. This is just something that I've read. I don't know if it's true. I've heard that Batman may be coming back. I don't know. That would be cool if that's something cool. I would even come back when that content is added. I would come to the game when that content is added and play through all that and to see how they actually do that with comic books. It's easy to kill people, bring them back. I even think this Joker isn't the original Joker to this world, right? Because Joker in this world, the Arkhamverse, is dead. Like we killed that motherfucker. When he got on that Bane juice. Because all this is supposed to be in the Arkhamverse, right? So it's obviously not our Joker. It's not that Mark Hamill Joker, or he didn't do that voice, did he? Anyway, I don't really know who Mark Hamill is. My Joker, so I must say that in mistaken Jokers all the time, but I don't think he did the Joker in the video games. But it's not our Joker from the Arkhamverse because he's not here anymore. To my knowledge, he is dead. I did not play. No, because he wasn't in Arkham Knight, because that was Jason Todd. Okay, anyway. So it's a different Joker. I don't know how he gets to this world. I haven't really done that much research into it. I just know he looks goofy. But I will play him because he is the Joker, and I do like goofy characters. So, with that being said, hopefully the game don't die. Hopefully, WB can improve it. I will leave you guys with some thoughts on what my friends said about it that are loving it. If you want to hear from actual people who have invested some time into it that I did reach out to, and I asked them pretty much their thoughts, what they thought about it, and they gave me these pseudo reviews that I wrote down, and I will read them to you because they gave me a pros and cons list basically. Well, one of them did. One of them. All right, so this is what one of them said. I'm just going to read you his words. Hopefully one day he can be on this podcast. Both of them hopefully will be on the podcast one day. Right now I can just read you what they gave me. This is what one of my friends said. We call him GD Chafin. I basically asked him what the title of this podcast is. Is it trash or is it fake hate? Basically, do they genuinely like the game? Do they think the criticism is justified, or is it just fake outrage? And GD Chafin, he says he thinks the criticism is fair. This is the one that paid a lot for that 72 early access. But he also does think it does a lot right. He talks about what he thought. The graphics, the character, the story. In his opinion was the highlight. He liked the combat. I do agree with him with the story. That's something I was talking about in this episode. We do agree on the story, but I do not agree with him about the combat. But he does get into a little more detail. He said, "Could it be better? Better? Sure, but for him, he enjoyed it for what it was. Will it get the support? He don't know. It didn't sell well or review well, which we all know that. We went over the reviews, and I know it didn't sell well. We can look at the sales here shortly if they even posted them." He says he don't think it's worth $70. For him, he could care less, but for folks, hold on. I don't care. I don't think it's worth $70 for me. I could care less, but for folks, no wait. Like basically telling people to wait, and don't buy it at $70, because that's what I agree. I do agree with him there. We should probably wait for sale. He does not believe that it's as terrible as the reviews make it out to be, though. Again, he is like the other guy said on Steam. He says if you got buddies to play with, co-op seems to be the way to play the game. Now, my other buddy, we'll call him JW. He gave me a list. He did give me a list. He played also for the first guy was played on PC. This guy played on PS5. That it's crossplay, so you can. It doesn't matter where you buy it. You can play with your friends, which I'm a huge advocate of. I want you guys to know crossplay is good. Crossplay is not bad. Do not disable crossplay. Just don't be little bitches. Just play with PC players. If they cheat, they cheat. If they don't, just play with your buddies, man. Don't kill crossplay. Anyway, JW says he thinks the criticism is fair for many complaints. The game is much better than what people say it is, though. That's a sentiment they both share. He gives me a pros and cons. His pros, he thinks it's very well optimized on the PS5. I have to take his word for it. I have not played it. He did not have any problems. Again, he highlights the story and the writing, which I can agree with. He said each character is fun to play. I disagree. They look the same. They seem to play the same. He said the combat's fun. He enjoyed the combat and gameplay. Again, I don't really see that, but teach his own. And he actually does highlight the visuals in his pros. So as I told you guys, it's not a terrible looking game. I don't believe those videos. It does look pretty good. He feels like it is a very good third-person looter shooter, which is my problem with the game right there. I don't think it should be a looter shooter. I think each character should be unique and not focus on... It can be a looter, but maybe not so much a shooter. He enjoys the boss fights, Batman being the exception. He said the Batman fight, that was just plain terrible. I haven't seen the fight, so I'm assuming if he didn't like it, it must have been bad. Alright, we're getting to his cons now, which I have seen these, so these must be pretty bad. He said there's no enemy variety. I do agree with that from the videos I've seen. All the enemies, pretty much, you're going to get tired of seeing the same motherfuckers over and over again. Again, the repetitive mission types, I've seen this touted a lot, so the end game is very just straight up repeatable. It's just the same missions over and over again. He actually questions the end game. He don't know if it's good for long term. He said you could have fun with it short term, but as far as how it's going to hold up there in the future, we don't know. He does go into some more detail here with some final thoughts. He said if they will support it and update it regularly, then the game has some potential. So basically it's got good bones to run on. Again, he highlights the combat. He says it's fun, but they need more enemy and mission types. New characters each season. He says he believes the help. I disagree, especially if they really bring nothing more to the table than the combat they have, which all characters really just seem to play the same to me. They really have to make the characters more unique. Overall, he thinks it's a good game. It's far from perfect. Most criticism is from fans crying about they killed their favorite childhood hero, which is what I kind of highlighted. I feel like I think that's the case. Not the whole case, but I do think it's a big driving force. He says he thinks people feel like it's cool thing just to hate the game. That's that bandwagon. We'll get more in that episode 2. I can't wait to get in episode 2 because it's going to be talking about us as gamers and myself included. If more people tried it, I think they would genuinely enjoy it. $70 price tag is questionable, but if the season updates are free and they're actually good, and then it's justified. Now I will agree with him on one thing: if they do keep the add-ons, like I said, that post-game content free, then maybe $70 can be justifiable in the future, but in its current state, I don't think it is. Just because the content that is there is short. The story, I think, runs about 10 hours. And then, of course, the end game is just a bunch of repeatable missions. As he pointed out, he's in end game. That's coming from somebody who's in end game, and you see it on the internet everywhere. People are complaining about the repeatable missions. I know this is going to sound crazy, But I know in a lot of the reviews I watched, they even went on so far to say that the Avengers had a better endgame. And now, I was there for the Avengers endgame. I got there, and it sucked. So, that don't give me high hopes for this endgame. Now, with that said, I don't judge anybody. Listen, I want you to know something. If you paid $100 for this game, I'm not going to judge you. Because I will throw myself under the bus just for you guys. Just for my loyal viewers. Me, I paid more money for Anthem to play it early. So I've been you. I have been you. I bought a bad game at an exorbitant price to play early. So if you played this game, if you paid $100 to play this game, I'm not judging you. It's your money. Do what you want. I just think that we as gamers, myself included, need to do better and really stop voting so much with that wallet. I think if we would pull back and not pay so much for this, we can have these early access just included in a base pre-order. I remember back when just pre-ordering a game at a base price got you into the game early. I think we need to go back to that. That would be nice. I think companies are getting way too greedy, and WB was really low for this. And I hope it's not something that takes off, but I know it will. Because Blizzard's done it. They've done it. By God, watch Ubisoft do it at some point if they haven't already. And it's just going to become a norm. If you want to play early, you're going to have to spend $100 on a game before you even know what it is. Now, with that being said, if I could play Dragon's Dogma too early, I would give them $200. Let's be honest. So I'm guilty. I'm guilty just like you guys. And that's why I say we all need to do better. And we're going to get more into that in episode 2 when I'm talking about gamers. So, this has been just a conversation about Justice League. Is it trash, fake hate? Me personally, do I think it's trash? I think trash is too hard of a word because I thought Gotham Knights was trash and Avengers was trash. What I've seen and played of this game, just the story, the 10-hour story, is better than both of those games. So no, I don't think it's trash. Do I think it's fake hate? No, I don't think it's fake hate. To answer the whole crux of this episode, this whole reasoning behind XP Lost Episode 1, I don't think it's either. It's not either. I think what it is, it's a middle ground. I think it's a middling game. It's a game that's average and probably is getting a little more hate than it deserves because it does do some stuff right. It does actually do some things right. And I think they should be commended. So, WB Games, Rocksteady, don't give up. Don't give up. You can turn this game into something, and a year from now, we may revisit this game, and it's a completely different game. But if you want me to personally enjoy it, I don't think it can be a looter shooter for me to actually enjoy it. I want the characters to have an identity, and right now, other than traversal, I'm sorry. Regardless of what my friends say, I don't see it. I didn't see it when I played it for the little 30 minutes I played it. You just shoot, run in to heal. They did the Doom mechanic to run in combat to actually melee to heal. And it don't really have identity outside of you can shoot. Of course, the characters had different skills, but ultimately, they still look the same. So with that, this has been your host, Sid the Squid. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Unless you do not want to, then that's on you. I don't care. I'm going to love you either way because that's what we're about over here at this Tank-N-Spank channel. Is about spreading love on a platform that can bring a lot of gamers together in a really, I guess, in a medium that a lot of toxicity resonates throughout our medium, our communities. So we should do more. We should be better. Let's be better than what we've been. No hate. If you like the game, comment you like the game. If you don't like the game, comment you don't like the game. Tell me why you don't like the game. Tell me why you love the game. I'm going to respect whatever your arguments that you can make towards this video and towards for or against this game because I want to hear it. Because personally, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if a game is critical. It doesn't matter if it's critically successful. It doesn't matter if 100 million people like it or 1 million people like it or just 10 people like it. As long as you like it and you love to play it, enjoy. Just know that as long as we keep paying $100 or exorbitant fees for like early access, it's never going to change. As always, this has been a Tank-N-Spank video. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of XP Loss. I love you guys, and you guys just stay safe, stay happy, and just be healthy, man. Just be healthy, both mentally, physically. Stay up. And I will see you on the next one.